Hey everybody, Chris Stokes from Custom Fitness, and I just noticed that, during the weekend it becomes so chaotic. It seems like there's just no structure, no schedule to what you're doing and why you're doing it, and that typically leads to a time of overconsumption or a time of just not quite paying attention as much to what we're eating or why we're eating it. So today I thought we'd talk about taming your sweet tooth, because that tends to be something that people really start to go crazy with over the weekend. You may do great all week long while you're at work and you're tired and you're getting home, you're with the kids, doing school, all that kind of stuff, but over the weekend it becomes a little different. So first of all, whenever we're talking about taming your sweet tooth, if you've got an issue with overeating sweets or really any food for that matter, what we need to think about first is whether this is a mental issue or whether this is a physical issue. So is this something that's in your mind that's telling you need this food, or is this your body actually telling you that you're hungry, that you need this source of food? Sometimes that can be a little hard to decipher. So you're talking about things like stress, boredom, just habit of what you're doing, or perhaps it's a real craving, and that's okay too. It's all right to crave sweet things and desserts and things like that every now and then and just really want them, and that's okay. But if it's overtaking you or it's causing you to work away from your goal set, then that really doesn't benefit you very much, right? And it ends up leading you into more discouragement and frustration than it does happiness. So that momentary instant of tasting it is always lovely, but if it's leading you away from your goals, then you spend the next 2 days being guilty about it or feeling guilty about it, then it doesn't help you that much, and it wasn't really worth it probably to taste that for the moment. So there's a few different ways that we can go about this, and it's typically where people are snacking on sweets all the time that I try to give them some options on what we can do. So first off is to freeze it. Take whatever it is that you're snacking on and freeze it. And number one, if it's in the freezer, you're less likely to think about it because it's out of sight, right? But number two is, if it's chocolate, if it's a popsicle, if it's whatever it may be, you're going to have to suck on that or lick on it for a while in order to actually get some satisfaction out of eating that treat. And therefore, you probably will want to, you won't be as tempted to have them as often because it's not something that's easily chewed up and swallowed. So freezing your treats is a great option. So second is, if it can't be frozen or you just really can't handle that, then get it out of sight, out of mind. Don't put it at eye-level shelf in your pantry. Don't keep a cabinet where you go to all the time. Put it somewhere that you don't typically go to. Definitely out of sight. Hide it at the back. Put some stuff in front of it. Whatever it takes to make yourself not have it at top of mind all the time. So that way then it's more of a have-to moment whenever you start thinking about it, then you can go and grab it. But otherwise, it's not right there in front of you, taunting you all day long, because the rule of thumb is if it's there, you're eventually going to eat it. So obviously, if you're really wanting to cut it out, don't put it in the house in the first place. But a lot of people, their cravings will take them out of the house to go and get things. So that's where we come up with these tips. So number three is to make a better option. So if you really have gone through the fact that it's not stress, it's not boredom, it's really a craving, and you're just ready for some dessert and you haven't had any, in a couple weeks or whatever it may be, make a better option. Instead of doing regular pudding, make avocado pudding. Instead of doing full brownies, do black bean brownies, or make your own Jell-O. There's a lot of different recipes online to find those things, to find recipes for those and to be able to make your own, and they really are very simple. Most of them only take a few ingredients, and they're not that much harder to make than the other stuff. So most of the time they're easier because they don't even involve like a real mixer, which is always a bonus. The less kitchen tools you have to pull out, the better. But it's things that your whole family can enjoy. It's things that are probably going to make smaller servings, so that way then you're not over-consuming because you've opened a large package or anything like that. So the next time that you start to have those cravings, remember to freeze it, to keep it out of sight, out of mind, or to make a healthier option. So I hope that gives you a few tips for the weekend. Now, don't undo your whole week with this weekend, but do try to enjoy yourself. We'll talk to you soon.